He stepped down from ESPN while that was going on because he thought that he was coming back at the beginning of the preseason for NFL. Well, NFL preseason is beginning to start next week, or I think this week, and they just fired him.
Shannon Sharpe left Fox Sports back in 2023, and when he walked away from Undisputed with Skip Bayless, everything seemed chill. No drama, no beef. He was off to ESPN's First Take and jumped in strong by August 2023. The episodes were fire, but that wasn't even the real headline yet. Come January 2024, Shannon dropped the Cat Williams interview, and boom, the internet exploded. That one episode flipped everything. He was locked in with ESPN, the checks were getting fatter, Nightcap with Chad Ochocinco was blowing up, and brand deals were stacking like never before. Oh, and let's not forget, he even launched his own liquor line. Shannon was on top, living the dream. He was making more in 1 year than he did his whole NFL career. But that's when it started getting messy. Shannon got a little too comfortable, thought he was untouchable, until a 20-year-old named Gabriela Zuniga stepped into the picture. She worked at a gym Shannon visited, and next thing you know, sparks flew. Now Shannon's got a known taste, and Gabriela fit the mold. Even though she was just 20 and he was pushing his late 50s, that didn't slow anything down. Let's just say a whole lot of clapping started happening, over and over, until that clap turned into a case. Yup, a lawsuit. Gabriela linked up with Tony Busby. Yeah, that Tony Busby, the high-profile lawyer known for going after famous black men. At first, Shannon brushed it off like it was just another money grab. But this wasn't just some random scandal. It was about to shake the whole table. Tony Busby already had a reputation. He got a big win against Deshaun Watson, tried to run the same play on Jay-Z, and took the but third time might just hit the jackpot. This time he had ammo, and a lot of it on Shannon Sharpe. And Shannon, man, he was shook. Gabriela Zuniga came with a whole folder of receipts, text messages, voicemails, and details that could leave his entire image in pieces. Now let's be real, this ain't the first time Shannon's name got tied up with drama. There were past allegations from other women, even back when he was on a different network. So his hands weren't exactly clean, but this time, the heat was too real. Shannon refused the first deal, a private payout to keep it quiet. He wasn't going for that. So they hit him hard, $50 million lawsuit. And that's when Shannon made a move that had people scratching their heads. He brought up Jay-Z. For what? Jay wasn't there when you were doing what you were doing, bro. It was a weak deflection, plain and simple. Shannon thought the power of name dropping would sway things, but it only made him look worse. So he tried to play it smart, stepped back from ESPN to deal with the mess privately. No scandal attached to the network, clean break, fix it, and bounce back later. Seemed logical. But then, plot twist. Word on the street is Shannon settled. Nobody knows the real number, but insiders are whispering it was somewhere around $23 million. And just when folks were trying to process that, he caught even more backlash because he allegedly turned around and called black women gold diggers. That sparked a whole new wave of outrage. And now, the internet was on fire. And you already know the sisters had something to say, like, wait a minute, he really gave over $20 million to a 20-year-old?
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans.
That's wild, especially when you consider he didn't even touch that kind of money playing in the NFL. And now this young lady, she reportedly retired from OnlyFans, cashed out and dipped. But in Shannon Sharpe's mind, that wasn't an L, it was a calculated move. His mindset was clear. Yeah, I took a loss, but I can flip that and make it all back. He had a strategy, cut the check, kill the noise, and hop back on social media. he believed the bag would come running right back. And honestly, he had a point. First off, Club Shay Shay was still hot. Over 4 million subscribers strong. That alone was printing money. Second, Nightcap with Chad Ochocinco was doing crazy numbers. Third, his liquor line was still bubbling. So in his head, it was just a bump in the road. Settle the lawsuit, protect the brand image, and boom, back in motion. Especially with NFL season kicking off, Shannon thought he'd be right back at that ESPN desk like nothing ever happened.
He called black women gold diggers. He told his own children, that he should be the last option that they are able to call whenever they need help. He didn't even want to pay for his own, I believe it was his daughter's wedding. He was a willing participant. He was a willing participant in every single thing that he did, and I don't feel sorry for him. The universe sent him signs.
But here's the twist. Shannon Sharpe was fired from ESPN, and to this day, nobody knows the full story behind it. Official headlines kept it vague, mutually parted ways. But let's keep it real.
Do you see how when you go to these white tea women and claim that black women ain't this and black women ain't that, we got too much mouth, we got too much attitude, we're all gold diggers like Mr. Shannon Sharpe said? Do you see the outcome? White tea women know how to play the game. They know that you all are desirable. You all are the forbidden fruit. They're gonna milk that. They're gonna milk you till it's dry.
Something had to go down behind the scenes. And that's where folks get it twisted. Yeah, Shannon's got his own shows, Club Shay Shay, Nightcap, and all that. But ESPN, that platform gave him massive exposure. We're talking mainstream reach, brand credibility, and access to a whole different level of sponsors. Losing that ain't just a small dent. It's a whole wreck if you look closer. When you're on a show like First Take, standing next to someone like Stephen A. Smith, you're not just on TV. You're in front of the whole world. Whether people knew who you were before or not, just being seen on ESPN gives your name a whole new weight. It's the kind of exposure money can't buy. It's like the ultimate cheat code for blowing up your personal brand. And Shannon Sharpe, he's a natural. Dude's not just a former NFL star. He breaks down sports like a pro, and not just football either. He can talk hoops too, and do it with authority. That kind of range is rare. People didn't just tune in to watch him on ESPN. They started following his every move on his own channels too. That's power. Now here's the next layer. ESPN gave Shannon a stamp of approval. Being on air with respected names like Stephen A. and the rest, that ain't just a job, that's validation. You played in the league and you're holding your own in debates with top sportscasters. That makes you certified. And remember, ESPN is owned by Disney. We'll circle back to that. But it gets crazier. ESPN started tagging Shannon in their own content on socials. We're talking X, formerly Twitter, Instagram, all of it. So every time a clip drops featuring him, his name's right there, linking traffic straight to his YouTube and shows like Club Shay Shay. And it didn't stop there. They were even reposting clips from Nightcap with Chad Johnson. That's next level promo. Imagine the biggest sports network on earth handing you free exposure 24/7. Shannon had the cleanest clip farming machine working for him until it all got complicated. And let's be real, ESPN made Shannon more visible than he ever was at Fox. That's just facts. Now think about what that visibility brings. Brand deals. It's not just about Club Shay Shay anymore. Because once you're tied to ESPN, and remember, ESPN is owned by Disney, your image gets wrapped in that squeaky clean Disney glow. That's no small thing. Disney isn't just a media giant, it's the gold standard. They teach other companies how to do customer service, how to protect their image, how to stay polished. So when you're a face on ESPN, your off-camera behavior matters just as much as what you say on air. That's the unspoken rule.
So it looks like Shannon Sharpe has been fired by ESPN. It was just last week that we reported to you that Shannon Sharpe seemingly settled his $50 million lawsuit that was brought against him by a former girlfriend that accused him of rape. And when the initial $50 million lawsuit was filed, Lanny Davis, Shannon Sharpe's attorney, revealed that this ex-girlfriend was offered $10 million before she filed this lawsuit. You may recall Shannon Sharpe took to social media to announce that he was going to take a break from his hit show, ESPN's First Take, and that he would return when the NFL season began. Well, Well, The Hollywood Reporter is confirming that Shannon Sharpe has been fired over there at ESPN, a Disney-owned network. It should also be noted that the CEO of Disney was directly involved in signing Shannon Sharpe to this contract. And this contract he just signed a little bit over a year ago. And we can't forget his ex-girlfriend took to social media to announce that she would be quitting OnlyFans after the settlement was announced. We should also talk about how Tony Busby, seemingly after making this announcement about the settlement, posted his brand new private jet. I don't know what this exactly means for Shannon Sharpe, because this is a big major paycheck that he's going to be missing out on at ESPN. He still does have his very successful podcast, Club Shay Shay, and he also has the other podcast with Chad Ochocinco. What do you guys think? What do you see in the future for Shannon Sharpe? Can he reemerge from all of this? I believe he can. It just will probably take some time.
Need a reminder? Go back to April 2nd, 2021. Paul Pierce, former Celtics star turned ESPN commentator, went live at home, chilling with some women, strippers, drinks, and yeah, he was smoking too. Nothing illegal, technically. It was his own time. But what happened? Fired. ESPN cut ties without hesitation. Why? Because once Disney's name is attached to you, your every move is under a microscope. So when Shannon Sharpe ended up settling that lawsuit, whether guilty or not, Disney saw it as a problem. That quiet payout, in their eyes, it was an admission, and that's where things turned ugly. See, ESPN talent contracts come with strict morality clauses. Anything that looks like shady behavior, even if it never hits court, is considered a breach. So yeah, Shannon didn't get caught wilding on live like Pierce did, but once that lawsuit hit the news and the check cleared, Disney wasn't playing. To them, Shannon broke code. And in the Disney world, that's all it takes for the hammer to drop. Clean image or not, if you mess up behind the scenes, you're out. Now here's the part that really had people talking, because Shannon Sharpe never officially addressed why he left ESPN. No sit down, no press release, no tell-all interview, just silence. And in this game, silence says everything. But the internet wasn't about to let it slide. Fans started digging, and insiders started whispering. One source said ESPN told Shannon to lay low and let things cool off, but Shannon wasn't built for that. He's loud, proud, and everywhere. That lawsuit might have settled quietly, but the backlash didn't. People started pulling up old clips of Shannon, especially moments where he clowned other men for being reckless, for messing with younger women, or for not being disciplined. And suddenly, the same fans that once hyped him started flipping on him. So you telling us all this time you were out here doing the exact same thing? That was the vibe. Even his podcast comments came under fire. Every joke, every flirt, every spicy moment on Club Shay Shay was now being picked apart. What used to be seen as playful, now folks were calling it creepy. The whole image was shifting, and here's the real catch. ESPN didn't even scrub his name off everything. They just stopped promoting him. Quiet fade. No more tags. No more clips. That ESPN engine that once boosted his platforms every hour, gone. Now Shannon still had his fans. Nightcap was still doing numbers. Club Shay Shay was still trending. But the corporate machine that once gave him a spotlight, they turned that light off real quick. And in this business, when the light's off, you're on your own. When you got any kind of sexual allegations tied to your name, even if you settle, major networks don't want to be associated with that. Period. The moment you make the brand look bad, they cut you off. That's just how the game works. And for all the guys out there thinking, I don't need nobody, I got my own thing, rethink that mindset. Seriously. Just because you're popping on your own platform doesn't mean you don't need support. Once you isolate yourself from the big players, it gets real hard to grow. Take it from someone who's been in this internet space for over 10 years. That I'm self-made energy sounds good until you're boxed in, burned bridges, and no one bigger than you wants to collab. That's where Shannon Sharpe finds himself now. ESPN ? Gone. Disney's stamp gone. The engine that helped him run up brand deals like nothing, gone. Now it's harder than ever for Shannon to level up. Why? Because once your image gets smudged, the clean-cut brands don't want your name on anything. You lose that clean pass. You lose that mainstream shine. Look at Paul Pierce. Same playbook. After ESPN let him go, he had no choice but to launch the Truth podcast and say whatever he wants. But make no mistake, the credibility, not the same. That ESPN platform is a different beast. And Paul knows it's over. That's why he speaks so reckless now. Because there's no more endorsements to protect. So as for Shannon, bro, you should have moved smarter. All that clapping turned into consequences. If you made it this far, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. You already know we're dropping the stories they won't.